Good morning, Tellman Knudsen.
I hear you guys are getting hit with a hurricane.
Not anymore. And
Oh, is that
actually,
over now?
I'm on the West Coast. We skirted it. It was coming our way for a little bit, but um, as of now, we're in good shape.
Yeah, the rain just, I think it's starting to come up the coast because the rain just started here and it's supposed to go for the next several days.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
gonna be great. It's going to be awesome. So we've got a question today. And the question is, do you still want to grow your business with email marketing? So over the years, I've found so many people either have wanted to start with email, have gotten started with email, want to get better at email, they want to grow their list, they want to grow their responsiveness, they want to grow their connection with their audience. And there's just been so many opportunities for people to get better and better at email. It's been really great over the years I remember when, you probably remember this better than me because you were around before I was. Like, I remember when squeeze pages were just,
Because I'm an old fart.
well, you're 10 years older than me for starters, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, how old were you when you got into direct response? How many years old?
Oh, when I first discovered it, it was in 91.
Yeah, but like how old were you, do you think?
1991, I would have been 24, I guess.
Yeah, so you also got in a few years younger than I got in. So you're 10 years younger and you got in like 3 or 4 years, because I got into it when I was like 27,
Right.
right? So anyway, the point is there never used to be squeeze pages. There never used to be opt-in pages. People were all freaked out when they'd get to a website and the only thing you could do was put in your name and email address. And now everybody's even doing Zoom calls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like whether or not you even have a business, you have a squeeze page at this point.
It's
You know what I
standard
mean?
operating procedure for
It
sure.
is, because it works. It works so well. Mohammed, hello, and I'm not sure.
That's me.
You're the what's up dog.
Yep.
Dog.
What's
Um,
up, dog?
so why is email marketing important to you, Joshua Sheffrin?
Well, it's still the easiest way to build a relationship, to stay in contact, to create uh, the ongoing conversation, to truly have a conversation with people and have it be meaningful, even if it's semi-automated in nature, but to truly keep your pulse on uh, the pulse on the community or on your subscriber list. And it's a way that you can create responsiveness into your own platform that you can control, that you can reach out and talk to people and have them talk back to you and create value and have an ongoing dialogue and conversation with people.
It's true. It's one of the things that I'm really excited about. It's very interesting. We're going to be doing homeschooling again this coming year, and we did some homeschooling with the kids when Torger was younger, and he's been going to school. Both kids have been going to school for the last several years at a pretty cool, like small private school very close by.
Right.
We decided, because of the whole COVID thing and everything else, and just to roll back into homeschool this year. And we're we're working with an existing curriculum and program, but we're doing some customization and putting a group together of other local people who are doing homeschool. And it looks like I'm going to be teaching the kids how to start their own business. And I was like, I wonder what I could call that in order to like get the kids fired up about it. And I have a working title, and the working title is How to Make More Money Than Your Parents.
I love it. And they will too.
The reason I'm bringing it up is because I'm going to teach them all how to build an email list. And all of them are going to be like, I don't even use my email. That's for old people. Why should I? Because I have these conversations with with the friends of my son,
Right.
and the thing is that they don't use their email in the same way that, like, kids don't use email in the same way that they use social media, for just social connections.
Right.
But one of the interesting things about email specifically is that it's kind of like LinkedIn a little bit. So LinkedIn is really good for business to business connections and having that kind of professional vibe and style to it.
Right.
Email has a similar level of authority or quote unquote professionalism. Like, people buy from email, but they don't necessarily buy from TikTok. You know what I'm saying? It's
Sure.
a very different mentality. And so even though all these kids don't really use email right now, I think they will when they get older. I don't know for certain, but I think they will.
Well,
And
it's like in the early internet days, you couldn't quote unquote sell online, because people didn't trust putting their credit cards in, and it just
right.
so the only way that you could use the medium was to get them to switch into something else, like direct mail, or to raise their hand and get a phone call or something of that nature. And email is kind of the same way, where it's now trusted, and the other mediums aren't necessarily as trusting or as trustworthy as email is now.
And one of the reasons is because they're all privately owned.
Mm.
Okay, they're all privately owned. I mean, it wasn't very long ago that Facebook was undergoing extreme public scrutiny, and everyone seems to have very quickly forgotten about all of that, I noticed. Like, after COVID hit, everybody stopped complaining about Facebook anymore and all of their questionable policies. And then the whole thing with TikTok and it getting banned, and then the idea of Microsoft buying it from the company in China, and the whole thing is crazy. But at the end of the day, it's like your data is owned by other people, and with email, that's not the case, right? It really isn't. And in order to sign up for any of these other social media platforms, you still at some point need to enter your email address in order to create your account.
Right.
Even if you're signing in with Facebook or Google, you're still signing in with the email address that's attached to Facebook or Google. And so it's really fascinating. Email is like the skeleton key of the internet.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, for sure. It's I mean, I don't know how people live without it, if they truly want to build a sustainable, successful business model around it, in the online environment anyway, because it's the most cost effective. It's the way that you can control your destiny, by being able to reach out and have an established communication. And in that moment, depending on how you've cultured people, conditioned them to think about you, and when they get an email from you, and the value that you've created for them, or the entertainment, or whatever it is that they think of you as, for that split second, it's just you and them.
Right.
And you don't have that choice, and in any other platform, because even if even if you have your email settings in Facebook so that you get notified for quote unquote every notification that comes in, if they come in at all, they come in usually very delayed, and it's because, and it comes in via email, right? But they still withhold that communication from you, because it's in their mind, it's moving them outside of their platform. Mm-hmm. That's why advertising that goes directly from Facebook to another website, or to outside of their ecosystem, gets taxed, and it's a higher price that you pay for the same interest level if you keep them inside of Facebook. And if you move them over to one of your pages, or into a group, even better, where they can interact with you inside of a group, then you get much higher conversion rates, exposure, and at a much lower cost. So, which is great, but it just shows you that at any time Facebook chooses, it can change the rules, because they make the rules.
Yeah, and again, this isn't about like Facebook being evil or something. This is the
No, not at
nature of
all.
the beast. Like all of the amazing free communication and business platforms that we have available to us
No.
today that we don't have to pay for are it's astounding. It's amazing. It's genuinely incredible the time that we live in. Most people just don't have the self-initiative to actually jump in and grab the things and go for it because it can be very overwhelming. It can be very
Yeah.
confusing, and it's hard to tell what the right thing to go after is or what the right, do you follow the trend or is there something bigger here? And I don't know. I haven't seen another single communication mechanism or another single platform for communicating with people other than email that has worked better in 20 plus years. Like the email's the only one that has stood the test of time.
I agree.
believe, right? I mean, we still have phones. Fewer people are we have phones. Direct mail still works rock solid, but it also is a lot more expensive.
Always has been. Yeah.
And so email is just really, really, really cool. And it works at this point, almost every single industry. I'm not going to say every single one can be email driven because it's possible that not every single one can be, but the majority of them. At this point, email is so pervasive and it's such part. It's part of our cultural experience. It's
well, and that gets into like how you build your email list and the different dynamics. Because if you ever lose sight of the fact that whoever is receiving your email is a human being, regardless of, and if you're writing from one human being to another to serve that human being, to give insights, to give value to, humor, whatever, then it doesn't really matter. Unless you're selling to non-humans, to robots, to AIs, then there is some element that you can use email to market. Maybe you can't necessarily, quote unquote, close the sale or sell through it, but you can definitely use it to communicate to it. And remembering that it's human to human, person to person, belly to belly, kind of hand to hand aspects of it. And nothing beats it in that capacity when you think about it in those terms.
So for a existing business owner or maybe a serial entrepreneur, somebody who's been in business before and or is actively in business, but they're just starting to get serious about the idea of growing their email list or really put their juice. They've maybe made some money with their email list, but now they're like, okay, I'm done screwing around and I'm really going to blow my business sky high. So for a fairly new email marketer, but a seasoned entrepreneur, seasoned business owner, what are the biggest opportunities or areas to focus on in terms of getting going with your email marketing? Like what traffic sources should people be focused on? What are the best entry level options for people that you're seeing right now, based on our clients and the people that we've worked with, people that we've talked to, what you're thinking about? What are some of the tools, some of the tricks, some of the, again, traffic sources?
You said for established businesses that are looking to take their email game to the next level?
Yeah, let's assume that we have established businesses and or experienced entrepreneurs and they're getting serious about email marketing. Where should they put their mental focus? Where are the biggest opportunities today in 2020 around
the influence that they already have? Is the low-hanging fruit for sure. So, I'm often reminded and kind of astounded, frankly, of Groupon. I don't know if you remember how phenomenal the rise was and the meteoric rise of it. And at one point, I believe they were the number one advertising engine on Google, in terms of the number one advertiser. And so what I'm getting at, though, is that for the first time, I don't know, maybe it was 2012 or something like that, or 2011 when Groupon was at its heyday. And what it did for a lot of small business owners and entrepreneurs and stuff that had, felt like they had missed the opportunity of the internet and they didn't know how to do it, it gave them it was like magic, right? Where here comes Groupon, they would offer to their subscribers a offer, and they would come into your business magically through the internet, right? And like all of a sudden the business would be overwhelmed. The funny part about all that is that usually the business was the same customers that were already going to that business anyway, right? And that they were already familiar with the business and they bought through Groupon because of the deal and because of Groupon and all of that, but then they were already familiar with the business. Had that business done one of two things or both of these things, had they from the beginning giving them reason to opt in, to grow their email list, to provide value to them, you know, in the case of like say a restaurant or whatever, that they could have been their own Groupon, right?
That's right.
Where that they didn't need to have some external entity come through and do that for them. The other thing, though, where Groupon just crushed it and the local businesses or the people that were using Groupon missed the boat entirely was that when they got a client in to their establishment, that they didn't then put them onto their own in-house email list. And so, I mean, that's the first step, is to give people reasons to join your email list that they would find valuable, that you can start to communicate with them and literally train them to respond to you via email. From there's all sorts of opportunities, but nothing, you know, short of you know, the only tip that I would give people is that, you know, make sure that there's a reason. Don't just say subscribe to my newsletter list or subscribe to my special deal where I'm going to hammer you with spam emails every day for the rest of your life and you can never get off of it. But give them a real valuable reason to join your insiders club. You know, it's not unlike what we were talking with one of our NPod clients about, Jean, with her, you know, like collectors club, the coastal collectors club. Now they have a reason to join, and it's special, and they get special deals inside the collectors club that only collectors can be a part of, you know? Right. And so something like that becomes your frequent fans, visitors, whatever, their idea to become part. Now they want to join your email list. They want to be a part of that. You know, it's kind of like what you were talking about. I don't know if we've ever talked about it on a live stream, but I love the example of, you know, your free slice of New York City's best slice of pizza. Get your free slice here example.
That's right.
So.
Oh,
like that.
I'm getting hungry. I want some pizza. Very cool. So the question is to you, our loyal viewers, do you still want help growing your business with email marketing? Do you still want help growing your business with email marketing? If so, let us know in the comments, and here's why. We have a very cool event coming up in a few days just for entrepreneurs that are focused on growing their business with email marketing. And if that sounds like you, let us know, and we'll see about getting you a free ticket to the event. We're doing a live Zoom call, and we're going to be teaching the most important, the most critical pieces to the puzzle when it comes to email marketing that you need to be paying attention to in 2020 in order to grow your list, increase your responsiveness, increase your list profitability, increase your traffic, increase your bond and connection with your list, and hopefully turn more of your customers into longer-term, lifetime customers who keep coming back year after year after year to buy the products and services that you create because they love you. They absolutely, totally love you and everything that you're working on and doing. So if that sounds interesting to you, type yes into the comments below and shoot us a private message, and we'll get you a link to that private Zoom call that we're going to be doing.
Sweet.
Rock and roll. All right, dude. Well, I think that about covers it for today. If you guys want help with your email marketing, let us know, and we'll see about getting you a invitation to the private call we're doing in a few days. Joshua, thank you as always.
Same to you, Tellman. Appreciate it.
Likewise. Over and out.